Hey guys, Carl Belch here. Today we're taking a look at my everyday carry bag. This is part 2 of my everyday carry system. The first one was on my on-person carry. I'll put a link to that video if you haven't seen it yet. Third part will be about my vehicle everyday carry system. But this is my bag that I carry with me every day. This has stuff that is either too bulky or not necessarily needed every single day, but it's really nice to have in case of certain situations. So that I don't really feel like I need to carry on me, or I can't carry on me on my person. So this will usually ride my vehicle. You know, if I'm going hiking or going to be away from my vehicle for an extended time, it comes with me, comes in the house, comes into a hotel room, what have you. One of the reasons I chose a backpack is so that I can change out different parts of the system for different seasons and I have more carrying capacity. So this configuration here is just kind of my basic in-between seasons. Been doing some technical repair work and stuff like that, so have some of that sort of stuff in here. But anyways, get started. We'll talk about the bag I chose. This is the Vanquest Trident 31. This is the 2017 version. I believe they have a newer version out. This is in MultiCam black. I honestly feel like to most people it just looks like black, so I don't worry too much about the tactical look of it. I feel like that's actually pretty common these days, and it's just as common to see a tactical style bag as a hiking style bag. So I don't really worry too much about that. Before we get in a little closer here and start going through the pockets, I'll show you a couple of things I have on the outside of this bag. Here on the straps, first of all, on the sternum strap here, I have a Suunto clipper. Just a nice little compass that sticks on there. I mean, if I was going to do any orienteering, I'd probably carry something a little bit better, but this is nice and reliable just to have it on there. This bag does have some survival elements because usually I'll take it with me four-wheeling or in the outdoors. So this is good also for traveling. So if my vehicle were to break down, it has some a little bit more extended stay type of precautions in it. So here on the strap I have the Streamlight Clipmate. This light just has a little adjustable neck and it clips on the straps. I did have tried a couple different lights, but I like how this one stays on there. And it's also adjustable. One of the main things I use it for is if I'm walking around at night, it just casts a pretty decent light down in front of me. It has red and white, not very bright, but it lasts a long time. So it's just kind of handy if I don't feel like getting out my headlamp. So let's take a little closer look at some of the stuff I carry on the inside. First of all, here on the front, we have this small zippered pocket. That's just kind of a flap here. Right now I have some gloves in there. Sometimes when it's colder outside, I'll keep like a winter hat or some different things in there, but that's just quick grab and go items. One of my issues with organization bags like Vanquest or Maxpedition is they tend to have a lot of organization in the front, and that tends to make them kind of front heavy. So I only keep small light things in that pocket. So gloves, bandana, a buff. A lot of times I have a buff in there, but I've had to take mine out to clean it here recently. Next pocket here is going to be on the front. See if I can turn this around so you guys can get a better look in there. One nice thing about the Vanquest Trident as well, and pretty much all Vanquest bags, is they have the really bright high-vis lining, and that allows you to see your items a little bit better in dim light, what have you. So this is basically my trauma pouch here. So the first thing I have in here, this is a UV pack light. It's basically just really powerful glow-in-the-dark material. I use it because I figure if I'm ever lost and I'm worried about running out of batteries in my flashlights or anything like that, I can just leave this hanging out, let it charge, and it has enough light you could probably read a map or a compass, or you could also swing it around and generate signal with. So that's one of the reasons I keep that in there. Next thing here, this is my Fenix UC35. I recently upgraded my on-body carrier light to the Fenix PD36R. So this guy ended up going in here. It's a great little light. Nice thing about this is some of the things in here are 18650, so this works better with that system. This MOLLE here on the front and on the sides don't work with the pouch, or the holster, I guess I should say, because it's hard plastic that comes with the Leatherman Raptors. Keep these in here because they're trauma shears with a seatbelt cutter. So if you need to get someone's clothing off real quick to be able to put a tourniquet on or pack a wound, you know, it's always good to have quick access to trauma shears. I would like a little easier access to my trauma stuff. I would like to carry my tourniquet maybe on the outside. I'd like to have a separate first aid kit that's easily removable, but they seem to add too much bulk to this bag. So as of right now, I've just tried to keep this pocket pretty much for trauma stuff and easily accessible. So cat tourniquet, very good to have. In general, you can save someone's life, save your own life. Next thing here, this is the SE Azula, just a small little fixed blade. Nice to have something a little stronger than my multi-tool or my folding knife if I was in a survival situation. The only thing in here that really isn't kind of trauma related that I tend to carry is I have a map of my local area. This one here is a plastic type of material, so it's waterproof. It's a little bit heavier, but just nice to have in case electronics are down, GPS is down. Then in here, again, I really like a better way to carry this, but for right now, it's just in that pouch. This is the Trauma Pack Pro from Adventure Medical Kits. This has a couple trauma-related items in here. First of all, it has clotting sponges, which is really important. It has wound dressings. It also has a tourniquet as well. It has the SWAT T tourniquet, so secondary tourniquet. I don't like to rely on the SWAT T unless I need to, so that's why I carry a cat as well. But I really like that this little kit came with the clotting material. And this little pouch doesn't really, it just has like belt loops, so I can't attach to the MOLLE very easily. So again, I'm probably gonna get a dedicated trauma kit to attach to the outside of this bag. That's pretty much it for that pouch. I like to keep just, you can see there, stuff likes to bunch up on this front pocket, so it's another reason I keep it minimal. Keep all my trauma stuff easily accessible. Next thing here, this is gonna be my basically communication tools. This is most of like the small stuff that doesn't have a kit. So this is a Fenix HL. This is a AAA headlamp. Just nice and small and compact. Really nice to have a headlamp in case you need to work on a vehicle or do anything hands-free in the dark. This here is the Nitecore F1 Flexbank. This is actually this is actually a charger and a power bank. So you can put your 18650 or any kind of lithium battery in here and you can charge it with the micro USB. And then it also has USB out for charging things. Not the quickest, I think it's only 500 milliamps, but better than nothing. This is actually one of my favorite Leatherman tools. This is the Leatherman Crunch. I reviewed this previously on my channel. While I don't think it's a very good primary multi-tool, it's really nice to have a pair of vice grips, and this combines vice grips into a multi-tool. So very nice thing to have with you. Wouldn't replace my charge or a wave for my primary carry, but for a bag like this, super handy to have. And for that, I also have the Leatherman bit set and then the bit adapter so you can put the regular 1/4" bits. I have some bits in my charge sheath, but this is the rest of the bits that come in their bit kits. All right, then we have this little zippered pouch here. This is where I keep all of my extra batteries and cables, charging, things like that. I have a charging cable here. This is from Blackweb. It's a Walmart brand, but the nice thing about it is cloth wrapped and it has the ability to charge micro, USB C, and lightning. The only thing I don't like about it is that the basic one is a micro, so you have to put an adapter on for C. So that's not the greatest, but it seems to charge just fine. This is just a little tiny 12 volt cigarette lighter adapter, USB charger. Keep it in here in case I'm in someone's vehicle that doesn't have one. Extra 18650. This is my on-the-go adapter, and so I can plug USB devices like thumb drives or a little on-the-go camera into my Samsung phone. This guy here is something that I wouldn't mind replacing, but it does a pretty good job for what it is. This is from Anker. Let me take a look here. Yeah, this is the Anker PowerCore Fusion. It's a wall adapter that has micro and regular USB outputs, but it's also a 5,000 milliamp hour power bank. A little heavy, but you can also use it as a wall adapter, and it can charge my phone about once in between. So I can charge it like if I'm at a hotel or something like that, forget my charger, I can charge my phone and then charge my phone again after I leave. Keep some extra AAAs in here. And then wrapped up here in some heat shrink tubing. These are CR1/3s. These are for my TLR6 weapon light. The one downside to that pouch there is that it adds quite a bit of weight to the front of the bag and makes it all top heavy. So I try to limit the amount of stuff that's in there, but there's only so much you can do. All right, let's take a look at the side here real quick first, because this is one of the smaller pockets on the outside of the bag. This is the pocket here that opens up as a zipper here, so you can put a water bottle in here, and has a little strap to keep your water bottle in. And if we flap this open, this is just a little admin pouch here. So in here, I have some wet wipes and a little notepad. This is actually where I keep a flint and steel. I like because it's got this little strap to keep it safe. Again, like I said, I do have some survival type stuff in this bag. And that's one of the things I carry that's survival related. Smith & Wesson tactical pin for a place where there's non-admissible carry. So if I can't take any of my self-defense items like my Smith & Wesson shield, at least I can take that in with me. And of course I can also make notes on the notepad that I have in there. And then the last thing I have in here is just a titanium Light My Fire spork. This is more of a luxury item, just kind of nice to have, you know, if you're ever somewhere and you need to eat some ramen noodles or something if they don't have a spoon. I always have that. Weighs nothing, so just a nice thing to have. All right, let's go to the other side here. This is actually how you open the main part of this bag. You can either open up this flap here, and it's got this snap closure that keeps the zipper from going all the way, or you can zip the bag all the way around, pop that loose, and it opens up pretty wide. But I usually just open it up on the side so that I don't have to have the bag flopping all around. This bag also has these really nice pulls on things. There's easy to reach pulls on all the zippers, so nice and easy to move the zippers around. So in here, in the pouch, you've got a couple of pockets here. One of the first things I have in here, this is a little multimeter. This is from Unity. It has little leads there, just because I tend to do electronics work, electrical work. It's just nice to have a multimeter for that sort of thing. Usually if my friends need some help with their car electrical or anything like that, I'm the one they call, so keep a multimeter on me. Next pocket here, this is just kind of a fun to have item. This is my Sparrow's EOD light set. So it's got just a bunch of lock picks, wafer picks, bypass tools, stuff like that. A little lock pick set. Certainly not required, but it's fun to have. I like to pick locks just for fun, so keep that on me so I can throw a couple locks in here and entertain myself if I'm somewhere and need something to do. So talk about a couple things that change out in here. This thing here, this is just some granola bars, snacks, different things like that. So if I'm hungry or my kid's hungry on the go, have some food. In here right now I have some Vortex binoculars. And these are a Nipex plier wrench, Cobra pliers. These are tiny, but you can get an amazing amount of stuff done with them. Like I said, I've been doing some little handyman repair jobs here and there, so that's why I have those in there. Also, I've been traveling around in the mountains, so for spotting birds and taking a look at the scenery and just general use, I have some Vortex binoculars. That stuff changes out seasonally, and depending on what I'm doing, that just happens to be what's in there right now. So sometimes in the winter, I'll throw a coat in there. If it's gonna rain, I'll throw some rain gear. You know, if I'm gonna be going on, say, less than a 3-day trip, I just throw my clothes in there. So this also has a few little pockets in here. Now this main pocket is set up with Velcro field, and it comes with little dividers. This is kind of almost a camera bag for that. I don't like those. I think they're bulky, they have a lot of weight, so I just have it opened up. But it seems to work fine. Next thing in here, this is my Sportsman Series Adventure Medical Kit. This has pretty decent first aid stuff, you know, no trauma stuff really. I already have that in a separate pocket, but this has boo-boo stuff in it. Wound dressings, ace bandage, tweezers, medication, stuff like that. And then also in here, I have some Neosporin wrapped up in duct tape so it doesn't explode in my bag. And then this is actually sunscreen because, as you can see, I'm very pale skinned. I burn very easily, so keep that on me because if I was out in the woods too long with no shelter, I would be miserable. Next pocket, this is more survival stuff. This is a Sawyer Mini, probably overkill, but nice to have. You know, if you ever were stranded somewhere and needed water, great thing to have, doesn't weigh much, fits in here. And then my little survival kit, I've talked about this before, just has some little basic stuff in there. If you want to see what I did, this is a modified SOL kit. I have a video talking about that. You guys can take a look at it if you're interested, but that's the basic survival kit. So as you can see, this bag is kind of survival heavy, but I tend to throw it in my toolbox if I'm going four-wheeling, or my vehicle if I'm traveling. And those are just nice things to have. If you ever got caught in the snow or your vehicle broke down, it might save your life. One of the other things that changes out in this bag quite a bit, I have different configurations for it. This last pocket here is a laptop sleeve. You can also put a hydration bladder in there, but right now I actually have the Botac Tactical polyethylene ballistic panel. These offer 3A protection level. Now keep in mind they are not NIJ rated, they're tested to their standards, but they're very inexpensive. I think they're about 40 bucks. Flexible, it only weighs about a pound, so I figure if you don't have, you know, for a pound, it could save your life. So overkill, absolutely, but no reason not to have it. So that will stop up to and including 44 Magnum, and it just fits in the little laptop sleeve back here, right out of the way. I can't honestly feel the difference in the weight when I'm carrying this bag. It's kind of a heavy bag, so a lot of times I'll strip out some of this stuff if I'm gonna go hiking or anything like that. It always changes configuration. Now that ballistic panel there leads me to the last thing on this bag, a CCW pocket. Hidden back here on the back, nice easy pull. In here, have Gen 4 Glock 19. I've got upgraded sights on it, Magpul Magwell. I keep it in this holster, but this holster is actually in a Vanquest, basically a Vanquest holster that Velcro's in there. So I can pull this out and use it as a CCW if for some reason I didn't have my regular CCW, or as a backup to it. And then the other thing I have in here is I carry 2 additional mags. So that's where most of the weight in this bag comes from, is from this little CCW pocket back here. The only thing that's nice about this bag is you can sling it on your shoulder, turn around, quickly draw the concealed carry, and then with my ballistic plate in there, you have a little bit of like kind of a ballistic shield. So worst case scenario, you could have yourself a little bit of self-defense from that. So that is my EDC bag. Again, it does tend to change with the seasons. I do put different stuff in there depending on if it's winter and it's gonna be really cold, or depending on what I'm doing. This is just kind of a general configuration. I've had to do some work on some things and been spending some time in the mountains, so I have the binoculars and the tools. But there could be a lot of different things that go in there. That's what's nice and flexible about an EDC bag. So anyway, part 3 is going to be my vehicle everyday carry system. I'm going to try to get that out a little sooner than I got this guy out. At any rate, I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate any comments you have. Let me know if you have any suggestions on anything on this bag, and make sure you take a look at my last part of the video, which was my on-body everyday carry system. All right, thanks guys.